Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting. My name is Mythily, and I'm a whole school teacher librarian. And today's my topic with the school reformer is unlocking the world, cultivating a reading culture with librarians as literary magicians. Who am I? As I said, I'm a whole school teacher librarian. I'm an educator with a passion for technology in learning and teaching. Beyond my technological pursuits, my passion for reading and storytelling is something which I love, adore, and which I'm doing for my learners. So here I am today to just share my practices and experiences as a librarian, what I am sharing with my fellow librarians and with my learners. So I'll be just taking you to my journey, what I am doing with them. And meanwhile, you can take up if you have any questions, as ma'am suggested, you can ask me at the end of the session. So today we'll just touch upon on few things like librarians as literary magicians, how we navigate resources, digital literacy, how to stay relevant, community engagement, workshop, and conferences. So I'll start as first what is librarian or what is teacher librarian. So earlier we were just issuing books, or when I was, in my teenager time, or whatever I remember as a library or a librarian, it was always a library. Okay, and my books, whatever books I wanted from the library, was always in a locked place. But over the period of time, when as the library is evolving, as we are as well, the librarians. So today in our world, especially with school librarians, we are wearing many hats. Okay, we are a builder where we develop library collection. We are a farmer where we cultivate ideas and culture of reading and learning. And we are a coach. We encourage collaboration. We are a harmonizer. We keep in tune with the curriculum and the new strategies. We are a protector, leader, whatnot. Okay. And as a school librarian, we are an informational literacy teacher where we teach research, we teach digital citizenship, and the librarians are also innovation leaders. They are equity champion, they are reading advocate, they are program manager, they are event planners. Okay, so we do coordinate school-wide literary events and hubs, and we call authors. We are connected everywhere. And the biggest of all, we are resource curator, right? So whatever we are building up resources, that's not only physical, but also digital resources we are curating and making it available for all of our learners and to our community. We are also wellness partner. So yes, we teacher librarians and librarians are wearing many hats. So that's something is being changed throughout this time, and we are lifelong learners as well. So this is what first I wanted to share, that what librarians can do. Librarians can do a lot. Today we are a resource hub. Today we are everything today. Okay. So for example, if you take my example, I am not only a teacher librarian in my school, but I take care of the research. I take care of the separate reading program, which is being taken care with my coordinator. I also work along with the PYP exhibition children to teach them and to help them with their resources and to also help them creating websites. So it's like a entire circle where you really have lots of options to do, and librarians are doing a lot of other things. Now, we'll start with librarians as literary magicians in education. So the first important part is role of librarians. So role of librarians are for like resource learners, digital expertise, collaboration. So librarians play a very important role in education, and we serve as a navigators for learners by offering them a variety of resources. And the resources not only with the books, the traditional books, no, now we are moving into podcast, website links, TED Talks, YouTube, articles, variety of resources we are giving them, so they are able to get the guidance and they are able to explore many of it together for one particular topic. Now, we also extend our expertise into the digital realm, where we guide learners for digital tools, technologies, and now AI coming into the picture. We make sure that we would want to incorporate AI tools as well in our teaching and learning, even when it comes to creating a lesson plan or delivering any, learners or any engagements to learners. We make sure that we use these tools. Collaborations with educators and technologists, so that's something is also very important, which I believe that we as a librarian need to do. We have to collaborate with different librarians, different education people, so that, and especially with our teachers, if you are working in a school setup, then collaboration among your teachers is very important, because what is going on inside the classroom is going to decide in your learning, in your planning, that what are you going to take care in your classrooms. Next comes as navigating resources, books, magazines, articles, podcasts, diverse formats. Okay, we should be ready to give, for example, if the topic is about migration, then we as a librarians need to provide resources to learners as well as to teacher community in different formats, whether it can be books, magazine, articles, podcasts, anything. But that personal guidance to learners, personalized guidance to learners, helping them to navigate what really they would want and they need it for their resources, is very important. Digital literacy, guiding through tools and technologies. So we as a librarians can help them creating websites. We can teach them how to create website. We can also teach them creating website along with their curriculum, what they're already learning. A podcast development, we can together create podcast for our library. We can also teach them different using tools. So what we can do is we can tell them that how to use different AI tools in their learning, in their teaching, and first we can incorporate in our teaching, and then we can take it ahead and ask them to use it in their own learning as well. Staying relevant. So this is something which I feel that each and every librarian need to do it. Librarians need to prioritize our continuous learning, and we have to stay relevant to bring whatever relevant information for our learners and our community, right? So that how that can happen? That can happen through workshops, conferences, any online courses to stay updated on the latest trends. Okay, whatever workshops are happening, we need to be vigilant. We need to make sure that we attend that. We gain knowledge from different resources. It can be social media, it can be physical conferences, attending a physical conferences, taking up any online or physical courses which stays with your information, which stays with your curriculum. Apart from these small professional development courses, we should also be taking from the people who are already good at it, right? So for example, I'm a part of librarian association who takes care of all the needs, whatever the IB and the IGCSE and the CBSE librarians require it. So, for example, I would want to learn about Canva. What is Canva? How it is, done? There are obviously many tutorials available in YouTube and other places, but there are many librarians who are very good in it. They have already mastered in it, so we can collaborate with them. We can talk to them, and we can make sure that they teach us whatever they know. So even collaborating with different librarians who knows or different technologists who have quite idea about, who have done their part of research, we can also collaborate with them and get the details and learn. So that's how a librarians can reach out to different people and learn and stay relevant. Okay. Integrating of emerging trends, librarians need to actively integrate technology, because that's something which it can make our class very much interactive. So if I give you my example, I make sure that during my classroom, when I'm taking any session with my learners, I make sure at least I use one or two tools which engage them thoroughly. So they really love when some quiz is playing up, or they like when any information, what they want to put up, it is recorded not only in book, but it's in a collaborative tool where we are using a Padlet or a Wakelet. So using these tools, when they see that their friends can comment on their opinions and thoughts, and their books, whatever they're writing, stories is being recorded. So all this can happen using different tools and technologies. uh, First using them while teaching, and then telling them, making aware of these tools to our learners so that they can use it as well. I hope I'm not going very fast, but yes. Next, a very important one. So, whatever we are doing in the library, what something I believe is, and the pandemic had changed completely, is whatever engagement is happening inside the library, it has to be shared with the outside world. It has to be shared with your parent community, with your teacher community, and apart from that, with your social media community as well. With your professional networks, using LinkedIn, using Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. If you can create that particular vibe, then definitely it can impact even in a community wise. So for example, networking, librarians leverage social media platforms and professional networks to connect with like-minded people, like-minded professionals. We share resources, and we also collaborate on different projects. So this something is very important, and this happens when you showcase your work to the community, and you also are checking their work, what are they doing, so that can also impact in your work, whatever you are doing it. Professional development through librarians. So the librarian is just one community which I'm sharing, but there are many who gives you lots of engagement with librarians, and similar organizations provides you opportunity for professional growth. The networking community among themselves, which impact not only reading, but also reading, writing, and thoroughly the entire community for the librarians. And we can work on different project initiatives. Like for example, I can give you one example where we celebrated International Mindness Week, where we wanted different people coming to our school virtually or physically, and share their opinions and thoughts about the topic with our learners. So there, these type of community, especially librarians, make a big impact, because what I did is I invited around 15 librarians just from there, and they all came with a different background, different, they all are wearing different hats, they all work differently in their own professions, and when they all come together and share their experiences with our learners, then they get a very diverse perspectives, meeting them and having and interacting them. Yes, as library is evolving, now it is not only at one place. So earlier it was the one space where you used to go and take the magazines or books and everything. But now it's a modern library concept where libraries reached to the classroom. As a classroom libraries, there are different clubs happening inside the school where the libraries have been spread. And not only that, even it reached to make a space. Okay, so libraries now encompass classroom libraries, maker space, digital platform to provide diverse learning environment that cater to different learning styles, and for different learners. So so now it's like, if you want to learn something, you don't really have to come to the library. Library is all over now. It is just which space you would want to pick up, and where you would want to start learning and checking, that's something matters. So there the librarian plays a very big role, because librarians, for example, in my school, I make sure that I curate a lot of resources in the library, as well as I send it to the classroom libraries as well. So they have enough of resources in the classroom as well. Plus, I create digital resources for them, so they can always come back to the digital resources, as well as they can use any space in the school which has been converted into a small spot for libraries. Um, yes, now librarians also play a big role in teaching, educating learners on copyright laws, ethical information, empowering them to respect intellectual property and understand the implications of plagiarism. So topics like copyright, media literacy, digital citizenship, plagiarism, you have academic integrity policy, all this information and awareness who brings till the learners is what the librarians do. The librarians make sure that this all information is taken care, and this all is being educated to them, so they are aware of all these things. Librarians guide learners in developing critical thinking skills to evaluate and analyze media content effectively. So they are very well aware that what content they have to trust, and how to evaluate it, how to evaluate websites, which tool they can use it, how to navigate themselves in the digital landscape. All this information they get it from their librarians. It's a space. So library and the librarians create a space and environment where the children and learners and teachers and parents, they come together, they learn, they discuss a lot of different things, and librarians break all the stereotypes, all the places where they can just talk about any topic. So I would want to create a space, and I've already created in my school, where the learners come and they can talk on any topic, and they will not be judged. Okay, they can just sit, talk, take guidance from different resources, and they can get different perspectives on it. So yes, librarians instill the principles of responsible digital citizenship, include online behavior, which is very important, data privacy. So these informations need to be given to learners so that they're aware of all these things, and information credibility to equip learners with the skills to engage ethically in the digital world. So to make them ethically equipped and to make them ready for the digital world, librarians play a very big role. Yes, we also play a big role in encouraging curiosity and also in valuing of voice and choice. So, librarians cultivate a culture of curiosity and inquiry. So that's the reason at many places the library is called as inquiry hub, where we encourage learners to ask questions, explore new ideas, and seek knowledge independently, and also embracing voice and choice. So librarians value the diverse choices and voices of learners, because whatever they speak, we make sure that they are being heard. We empower them to make decisions about their learning path and express their thoughts and ideas authentically without any influence. So it's their voice and choice, and we make sure that we create that culture where they can voice out, they can talk about any topics which they feel is they would want to discuss. It's very important that continuous learning for librarians keeps going, and there the management takes a big role, where if the management's vision and mission is aligned with the school library, and the management makes sure that the library and the librarians grow, so that time what they do is they send them for the workshops. Okay, they send them for the workshops, for the conferences, they create some professional development courses for them, so that they can be equipped with the current trend, and they can integrate with a lot of innovations, network collaborations. All this can happen when the schools or any organization's management vision and mission is being aligned with their library. So if, for example, in my school, they make sure that I get enough professional development courses. I've been sent to different workshops, conferences, and whatever I learn from them, I bring back. I also take sessions for my teachers. So whatever I've learned, I make sure that I teach them. We share our own practices with themselves with them, and whatever I have learned, I try to practice and use it in my learning. So as I said earlier, it is very important that we have to stay relevant. We have to stay, continuously. We have to keep learning. So for that, management plays a big role. So make sure that whenever you as a librarian would want to do any professional development course or anything, you first take, full confidence of your management. You speak to them, you explain what is the purpose and why you would want to go for this workshop and conferences. And I'm very sure that if their vision is aligned with your learning and teaching, definitely they would want to send you, and they would want to bring more collaboration and more professional development for you. Collaboration and partnership. For any librarians, collaboration and partnership is very important, whether it can be with children, with teachers, with parent community, or even with outside the community. It is very important that we collaborate with them so we can get a lot of resources from the other, ideas and resources from the other collaborators, as well as if we collaborate with our parent community, then that becomes very easy for you to bring the build the culture of reading and writing in your own school community. It becomes very easy because whatever you would want to achieve, it's also happening at the parent end as well. So that partnership is also very important. So by fostering a culture of collaboration and innovation, librarians create a supportive and dynamic learning environment that empowers not only learners, but it also gives diverse resources and opportunities to them. And now I would want to show you that, for example, if as a librarian, so as an IB librarian, what I do, so I make sure that whenever I am entering the class, before entering the class, I make sure that I sit with my coordinator, I sit with my teachers, and I understand what is going on in the classroom. Okay, and whatever is going inside the classroom, for example, the topic is about migration or plans or sustainability or SDG goals, whatever the topic is all about, I sit with them, I understand first before even planning to with for my curriculum for my classes, and then after getting a good idea about whatever they are going to teach or what the curriculum speaks all about, whatever the POI is there, then I sit again separately with my coordinators and I plan for my entire that particular unit. So for my 6 weeks of unit, my entire plan is done. I make sure that I plan everything aligned with my coordinator, so we know that what exactly we are planning and what are the different books or stories, or we want to invite any authors, or what engagements we are going to do. Everything we plan for 6 weeks. After that, we also plan lesson wise, that each lesson, for example, my kids come to me every once in a week. Okay, so they come once in a week, and whenever they're coming, it should be horizontally and vertically progressive for them. So that's what we plan. And if you can see, I can show you one of my lesson plan. So I am working with them for MLA citation, where this is my full plan. So what resources I'm going to use it, what quiz I'm going to use it, and what kind of and what engagements I'm going to do with them, everything I make sure I plan and keep it ready. Okay, then I also Jarul book. So one of the example is Jarul book. What I do as a librarian is I uh, connect with different schools, different organizations. Like for example, Jarul Books, they do a session for for entire 3 months. It goes and they select. It is done by the children for the children. The children come together. They select the books and they come up with 10 final books, and then 3 books we have to read, and then the children vote for it, and then the Indian authors are called, and they we give them the awards. Okay, so this entire process, what we do is we involve our children, we involve our school, and then we participate in during this type of things. And with this, the children gets to read a lot of different variety of picture books, and they also are able to meet the authors, they're able to communicate with them, and they whatever engagements we are doing, they are able to know everything. Like for example, in one of the picture book, what are my learning engagement, what am I going to do, comprehending, sequencing, what reading session I'm going to do, what pre-reading I'm going to do, all is detailed planning is done by us, and then only I enter the class. Okay, so this is one of the thing what you as a librarians can also do. First plan what you would want to do, and then you can enter. So for example, I also teach fake news, evaluating website using the carp tool. So I do all of these with my children, but I plan everything beforehand. Now, the last thing I would want to share with you is whatever you are doing, make sure let's show it to other world. Okay, so for example, I this is my social media and professional account, that is for me LinkedIn account. So if you see, as a teacher librarian, wherever I am involved in this particular thing, I am involved with my coordinator here, and she is trying our best to involve everybody, homeroom teachers, single subject teachers, to talk about the curriculum, and to see together we build that curriculum, so that we are able to understand what we are going to teach our learners. So during that process I was involved. So that one thing I have mentioned here. Then using different spaces. So in this particular thing, I have used different spaces of my school. I don't only take classes in my library. I take children to different spaces, because sometimes we are doing a session in gardens, sometimes we are doing on steps, sometimes we are doing at any other different places, but we make sure that we use different spaces. Then I attend different small PD workshops and conferences. So whatever conferences are happening inside the school or outside the school, I make sure that I do that, I take that, and then I whatever I learn from that, I use it in my learning. So now this particular post says all about where I am teaching the children about safe online exploration, safe search. So a lot of different safe search engines are available, like Kiddle, Fact Monster, Nat Geo Kids. So these I was teaching them that time, that instead of using Google at a very young age, so this was around, I think, PYP1, that is grade 1, and I was teaching them they can use these safe search engines. Okay. Then you can also talk about, you can go as a guest lecture, you can invite people from different schools as a guest to in your school, as well as you can do a barter system where you also go as a guest to different schools and share your learnings. Then you can also do, yes, PYPX, yes. So you can also be part of exhibitions, PYP exhibition and other projects which your students are doing, where you can mentor them and you can be with them throughout, and you can teach them how to how to enter into the process. You can teach them about citation, research, everything. So you can be a very good mentor to them. Then, for example, I also take sessions where I take online digital boot camp, where whatever I understand or I know, the tools, what I love, there are people who would want to learn from the start, or a beginner or a basic. So that also I teach them. Similarly, librarians, you can learn from different librarians, and also you can teach whatever you are aware of it. And we also write blogs. So that is one of the very important thing for a librarian, that you need to write blogs. The more and more you write and read, that's going to impact in your learning and teaching. Now, this blog was all about how to collaborate with your support staff. We collaborate our teachers, we collaborate with our parent community, with our students, everybody. But the important people with us who are our regular support in the teaching or in any organization are support staff, right? So we have to make sure that we empower them as well. We, whatever they are doing for us or with us, whatever we are teaching them, we need to give them credits. So, for example, my support staff supports me with in various things. She helps me with shelving, she helps me with creating any learning wall. So she helps me at various places. Of course I train her, of course I teach her, but the ultimately they take care of many things, right? So I make sure that whenever I'm acknowledging to my heads, or whenever I am calling the teachers and I'm showing some learning wall, or I'm doing something, or I'm showing how amazing the library is being shelved, I make sure that I take their name and I tell them that this is their, this is their, they have done this. We have to give them that credit. Okay. When they hear that we are giving them that credit, they feel really responsible for the library as well as they're very happy about the acknowledgement. So we have to make sure that we keep empowering them at every stage. And I would like to end my talk by just telling you one more thing is, please check this 100 things the kids will miss if in your organization or in your school you don't have a school librarian. Okay, a place to assemble with your friends openly, learning to be a good citizen, especially digital citizen, one-to-one instruction to play solve problems. Okay, and to create information, research, a safe forum to explore new ideas, going beyond academic requirements, creating a lot of posters and everything. I mean, celebrating learning. If you would want to celebrate learning, if you would want to celebrate reading and writing, then you should have a library, and you should have a library. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop my share here. If
Sure.
you have any questions, please let me.
Sure, ma'am. I have observed there are no audience in the meeting room, so I would like to ask you some questions.
Sure.
So that was a wonderful explanation, ma'am. I really enjoyed the talk. Coming to the challenges of the librarians, I want to discuss.
Yeah.
What are the key challenges librarians face in promoting a reading culture and how they can be overcome?
Yes, definitely, ma'am. That's something which we are struggling each day. But yes, we have come up with the solutions as well. So the biggest challenge what we face is, first, we only get 1 day in a week with our learners, right? And we only get 45 minutes, and in some schools they only get 30 minutes, right? So in that 30 minutes, that apart from the transition time when the students come to the classroom, we only get as a whole 25 minutes. In 25 minutes, you have to incorporate reading culture, you have to do some engagement, and you also have to issue written books. So that is the major challenge, that where children doesn't meet the librarians on daily basis. So
Mhm.
that is something, is a very big challenge which I feel a librarian is facing, because they want to do a lot, but they don't get enough time, right? So this, for this solution, what my school has done is, we have 50 minutes of time for one particular session. So my kids, even the transition time and everything takes up, still my kids get along with me for 45 minutes in a day. Apart from that, they can also come during lunch and other break time. And for this solution, the librarians have to be very much proactive, and we have to be planned. As I told you, my entire session is planned. So for example, the 45 minutes, what I'm going to do for 15 minutes, how I'm going to do issue written books, and what I'm going to include, everything is planned along with the resources, and I keep it ready. Along with my support staff, I train her so that we use those 45 minutes to incorporate, to build that culture of reading with our learners, and we make sure that that 45 minutes is impactful within my time and with my learners.
Great. So you mentioned the concept of librarians as literary mentors, right?
Yes, yes.
How can librarians effectively engage with diverse communities to foster a love for reading?
Yes. So what they can do is, they can collaborate with directly teachers, homeroom teachers. So for example, one topic is going on where they are talking about essay writing. Okay. So if they are teaching them essay writing, it's a very diverse topic, right? It's a very big topic, and the teacher may not be able to cover all the lines of that. So they can collaborate with the teaching community, and they can see how much they can pick up in the library, and they can take those particular option, those particular titles, topics, and they can take it ahead. Apart from that, they can be part of Jarul book, the way what I said right now. They can be part of different author events. They can invite, they can be part of different associations, where they all come together, create a reading curriculum, and they are part of very different reading challenges. They do a lot of different challenges. They take care of also um, different book clubs. So all these things the librarians can do, and they can create that reading, they can create, fill that gap which is there between the literary and also with the parent community. So what I do is, in my previous school, what I did is, I directly communicated with my parents. So there was no gap between parent and the librarian. We all came together, created a small clubs for the children, and we catered to different learners as per their personalized needs. So that's what we did.
Mhm. Okay. So, in your experience, what strategies have been most successful in encouraging reluctant readers, especially among younger audiences? Because
Yes,
children love to play these days, like, they're
yes,
it's a digital world. So,
yes.
so how do you encourage them?
Okay, so I use different strategies in my school. So so few I can share maybe. So one, what I do is I give them enough of choices. So when they come to my library, it is completely their voice and choice. And even selecting a picture book, I'll give them five picture book and I'll tell them, what are we going to select? Okay, I incorporate many tools. So for example, we were reading one book, novel. Okay, we were reading so one chapter book we were reading, and not two or three learners didn't wanted to read, as you said, they just wanted to enjoy and everything. So I told them, okay, no problem, what are we going to do is we are going to use literature circles. We are going to play, and we are going to be a role, we're going to adapt, take it as a roles. So they were confused, what are we going to do? So then what I did is I introduced them six different roles. Okay, I put them into groups, and then I told them these are your six different roles, and I gave them the chapter 1. I told them, let's all read together chapter 1, but each one of us will play a different role. One of you will be a vocabulary wizard. One of you person will be a summarizer. One of you will be, initiator, discussion initiator. One of you will be just a reader. So like that, I may put them into different roles, and that made it very interesting for them. The children who didn't wanted to read as well, they sat with them in the group, and they were very happy to read. Okay, I am a vocabulary wizard, so I have to read and listen to whatever is being reading in the group, and then I have to understand, and from there I have to pick up the vocabulary, because miss is going to ask me what are the vocabulary, whatever we have taken out the vocabulary, we have to then put up on the tree. So I have a vocabulary tree, we put everything there, and then together we search and find out what are the different meanings for it. So this is one strategy where I involve them with having a different place, right? We become different role, we play different roles. Second, what I do is I give them options. Like for example, if they don't want to read, I tell them to listen. So the same book, same content can be, they can listen or they can watch visually, right? So these are the three different options which they get. They pick up anything they want. Similarly, they don't have to always write a reflection, book reflection. I don't encourage that always. I give them option. I tell them, okay, if you don't want to write a book review, so I give them a choice board. They create their own choice board. I tell them, write a book review or create a poster about it, awareness poster about it, or you can, create a poetry about it or a quote about it, or you can just talk about it, or you can do a book talk, whatever you want to do it. So I give them at least eight choices. From that they can pick up one, and then they can do it. And with few places, what I do is, for example, if my learners don't want to really get involved in writing or something, then I create different quizzes and using different AI tools, and I give them that, and I tell them, let's use this. So in my classroom, if you see, my planning will be there for at least 4 to 5 different strategies. I'll use it because I will decide on that particular time what my different learner would want. So maybe that particular day my learner don't want to read. Fine, then I'm always ready with another 4 different things what I can where I can engage my learners.
So, are there any particular genres or types of literature that you find are particularly effective in engaging readers, ma'am?
Yes, so they love fiction. They
Mm.
love fiction and they love science fiction a lot. Again, every school or every set grade has a different set. So my school, especially with my younger ones, they love reading fiction and they love reading especially science fiction. They love reading that, and also they love reading about something which says about historical things. So historical fiction. So these are my different genres what my learners love. So I know that. So what I do is I make sure that I incorporate few of those things in my learnings, in my teaching. So they love reading those things. And automatically they start reading. Then I also give them small, task for them. Like for example, if they're reading something, I'll tell them, okay, you know what, you can record it, or you can go and take an interview of your parents and talk about it. So I make sure that they're learning, whatever they're learning, it has to, I want to know, right, what are they doing? So that is being shown in multiple platforms or via multiple strategies. And one of the interesting strategy which was a hit in my learnings in my teaching was I take their wish list. So I tell them, you go around, check in the library, what are the books which you would want in the library. I take a list of it with their names. I put it on the learning wall. and then I try to curate it. So I get those books, I beautifully wrap it, and I keep it open me with some tags. And when they come to the library, I don't give them all. I just pick up each grade something, and then I tell them that, you know what, some of you have given me the wish list that you would want to read this. I have curated it, but we don't know what is behind these books. Okay, what is this behind this cover? So just pick up. I don't know whose wish is true today, has come true today. So they will open it, they'll be very happy to open it. And when few of the learners, they see that yes, we got our book, they are very happy about it. They get a sense of belongingness in the library. They get the sense of the voice in choice in the library, that it is their voice, they chose something, and Miss Mythily got that done for us. And they issue that book, they take it back, they talk to all of them in their school community, and all other children who have never given the wish list. They come back and they tell me, Miss Mythily, we would also want to read something like this. Could you please help us creating a wish list? So this has become a very big thing in my school.
So last question, but not the least, ma'am. How
Yeah.
can librarians balance promoting traditional literature with
Mm.
embracing newer forms of storytelling, such as digital or interactive media?
Okay, so that is something which we are doing as a librarians as well. So what we do is, the traditional literature is very important as well, where we would want to engage them, and they should be aware about it, right? So we can incorporate it as a reader. The school management can discuss, and some traditional literature can come as a reader in their classroom, which is a which is a mandatory reading for all the children. But while reading, it can be the mandatory reading for all the children, but the engagements, whatever we are incorporating, or the learning or the teaching, what is happening, can be the modern library things, where we can incorporate all the different strategies.
Great to know, ma'am. Any advice to the newer librarians who wants to, start their role?
Definitely. So I started as an admin librarian, where I was just issuing and returning books. Okay, returning books. And frankly, I was not aware that there is a more beyond than that. But once I entered into teacher librarian, I just came to know one thing: we librarians can create wonders among learners and among the learning community. We are the main important people in the school. Okay, you have to first believe that. You have to first believe that we are somebody who can create wonders, and we can wear different hats. As I told you, we can wear different hats. We can become anything. Okay, so just make sure that, please go and ask whatever you wanted. So the three important things you have to do is, first, believe in yourself that you can do wonders and you are important. So you have to first value yourself. Okay, second thing is, go to your management, ask for resources. Tell them that this is how I am going to show your plan, this is how I am going to use it, this is how I am going to do it. Please provide me. Trust me, they will provide you. If they see you, that how you are promoting your library resources among teachers, among students, they will give you. Okay, my school provides a lot of resources to me, because they know I promote it in my teaching community to the level that they have to come and use it. Okay, so that is up to you. Please do that. And the third and the last thing is, please stay relevant. Okay, let's learn from each other, join some organizations, and make sure that you are keep on learning. Okay, whatever your age is, you have to keep on learning, because that is what is going to keep you relevant, and that is what is going to keep you with learners. Okay, so that's something. In IB we say lifelong learners, so let's stick to that. And I'm sure that you as a librarian are a magicians, and you can do a lot. You can do everything.
I'm sure for the new librarians, there is so much to take away from your talk, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions. We will end
Thank
the
you so
session
much.
now and have a great day.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.